you don't get so attached to your opinions. I think the greatest tragedy of mankind is people holding on to wrong opinions. If you're taking on debt and you're thinking, am I going to have that debt in an asset? That asset better produce more income than the cost of your debt. If you're using debt for consumption, that's not a good thing to do. Okay, you're giving up that safety. So number one is think about how much you save and think about whether that should be and how you borrow. Number two, make sure that you think about the diversification of that, not in cash. And number three, do the opposite of what your instincts are. If you're going to play the game, it has to be the opposite of what your instincts and the crowd says, because the market reflects the crowd. You want to buy when no one wants to buy, and you want to sell when no one wants to sell, right? So, and that's emotionally difficult, and probably you're not going to play that game well.
You're at $100 and you spend $105. That's misery. If you earn $100 and you spend $95, you'll have a good life. And what wasn't exactly like that, but it was basically, I know so many people who don't earn much. Because if you start to think about what it is that it costs you to live in terms of, let's say, the basics, I think most people can get themselves in a position where, they're net positive. So if you can be net positive and you could do that, that's number one. Then I guess it was the list that we went to. The second is, what do you do next in terms of what do you need? What do you invest in? And then going beyond it. And then avoid the following mistake, the most common mistake of investing, thinking that the investment that did good is a good investment. People rather more expensive. The things that quite often, those markets that did really, really well became more expensive, and everybody, smart money, is all the time comparing them and competing. So what happens is the naive money buys the thing that was hot or is hot. The thing that has been terrible, which might be the thing that's beaten down. So here's another one that's really important. Diversify. First of all investments compete, and it's not easy to tell whether one investment is better than the other, because if people could do that, life would be easy and everybody'd make a ton of money. And this is a competitive game that's very difficult to compete in, so it's very difficult to say which one's better or worse. You could take experts and you could do all sorts of tests, and you'll find out that they can pick that, and you can't tell whether the worst ones are going to be better. So because of that, you understand that even picking the best ones is difficult, and particularly if you're naive. Like, we spend hundreds of millions of dollars each year on research to try to give us an edge. Now, you've got to compete with us. Competing in the markets is more difficult than competing in the Olympics, but there are more people who try harder in order to do that. So it's a zero-sum game. Diversification, that they're different, will reduce your risk without reducing your return. So if you know how to diversify well, that's critical. So I would say, again, get your savings right. And the reasons I say, I would say, have great humility about what you don't know. Don't buy the thing that was hot, and then know how to diversify well. Those would be the most important things I could convey.
So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section down below.